This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
Well, hi there. Pull up a chair, grab your favorite fluffy pillow, and chillax. All the latest ag news right here, right now. So glad you could join us for another edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor. I'm Ray DeLessio.
And I'm Kenny Burgamy. As always, we've got a ton of stuff to get to today. Now, straight ahead on the Monitor, we spend the day with the new GFB president, Gerald Long, his passion for agriculture and why he feels he is the right man for the job. That's coming up. Also on the show, highlights of the 2016 Georgia Peanut Farm Show and how it brings peanut farmers together every year to inform growers on industry issues.
And then later, saving water, increasing efficiency, and reducing environmental impacts. Ranger Nick on how UGA Extension is using the internet to help farmers accomplish those goals. These stories and more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Well, he's still getting settled in as president of Georgia Farm Bureau, but Gerald Long is by no means a new face in Georgia agriculture. He's been involved in Farm Bureau for more than 40 years, and he's been farming even longer. Now, with his wife and son managing the operation back home, Mr. Long takes the reins as head of Georgia's largest farm organization.
My granddaddy farmed, my daddy farmed. When I came back from college and military, then that's what I wanted to do was farm. And we farmed as sort of as partnerships, up for a number of years till he retired, and then I took over. This piece of property we're standing on next year will be the centennial year of it. We grow around 280 acres of peanuts. We normally grow 600 acres of cotton. We have something over 500 head of brood cows. The vegetable business, we started this 31 years ago, and it's evolved into about 120 acres of U-Peak vegetables. First of all, we started back years ago in the commercial production, and I saw that was not going to work for me, so we started the U-Peak operation some 31 years ago. And as our customer base grew and as they requested it, I would plant them some other type crop. We grew as our customer base grew, and now we grow some 50 plus different varieties of vegetables. I'm considered a workhorse. I enjoy working. I don't mind working. I guess probably because I'm the third generation farmer. Justin is the fourth. It is strictly a hands-on, family-run farm. Either Justin or myself does all of the planning. We don't expect other people to do the work for us. It is a family operation, and I've told several people that thought they wanted to get into the U-Peak vegetable business that you better have a willing, strong wife and family that will support you with it, because it takes her working up here, managing the retail sales part, managing the customers as we're managing the crops in the field. I've been a member of Farm Bureau since 1970. I saw an opportunity in 1999 to run for the 9th District Board of Directors. And then in 2006, I had the opportunity to run for South Georgia Vice President. And it's just been a privilege to travel all over Georgia, North Georgia, South Georgia, Middle Georgia, East Georgia, West Georgia, wherever, and see that even though we have different commodities that are grown, but we all pretty much have the same issues. And this gives me an opportunity to see those issues and to work through those issues and try to make it better for the farmers back on the farm. I'm a person that believes in honesty and integrity. I think that's very important. But leadership carries it further than that. As leaders, we have to step up. We have to make hard, difficult decisions that can affect all of our members. But as a leader, we have to do that, and I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to take chances. I'm willing to expand my operation, and I want to carry that over into this organization to be able to expand this organization however we can do it to better represent the membership.
And a big thanks to our Michael Edmondson for putting that story together. Great job, Michael. Now, meantime, another big story involving the ag industry. Deputy Secretary Krista Harden, the Camilla, Georgia native, recently announcing that she is leaving USDA at the end of February. Calling it a bittersweet decision, Harden released a statement saying in part, "I am proud of what our department has accomplished since 2009 to bring economic opportunity that will help rural America thrive for generations to come. We have worked hard over the past 7 years to make USDA truly the people's department, as demonstrated by this administration's commitment to bring young people, women, veterans, and equal access to the forefront of food and agriculture policy." Now, meantime, officials from UGA Center for Agribusiness and Economic Development are traveling around the state presenting the 2016 Georgia Ag Forecast. The event is geared to help producers and others in agribusiness to have a better understanding of complex economic data. The Monitor's Mark Wildman has the report.
A crowd of over 180 attendees gathered at the Carroll County Ag Center to hear data on a wide variety of Georgia commodities. Kent Wolf, who is the director for UGA's Center for Agribusiness and Economic Development, presented the information, which consisted of data from the state level, nationally, and worldwide.
We've had record bumper crops in corn, soybeans, and wheat, so we're looking at some probably downward price pressures there that farmers may want to take into consideration in their planting rotation. Livestock numbers, prices are going to be down a little bit as well, although production is going to be up there. So we're looking at a kind of a mixed year for agriculture.
Farmers and other Georgia ag stakeholders depend on good information, and events like this one in Carrollton help all of agriculture.
The purpose of these forecasts are hopefully to provide producers and decision makers with some information as they look at what they're going to plant or grow in the following year and what kind of factors are going to impact the profitability of those different products.
Georgia producers battle many different challenges from input cost to weather. And when you look at the numbers, it is plain to see the tremendous value of Georgia's #1 industry. Another topic that was presented at the meeting centered around county sales tax revenues. Qualified farmers are exempt from certain sales tax charges for on-farm purchases through the GATE program, and some in Atlanta feel the program alone has hurt county revenues. Sharon Kane, an economist with the Center for Agribusiness and Economic Development, studied the issue.
Well, there were a lot of tax changes that went into effect in 2013, and the GATE was just one of them. So we took a look at information from the Department of Revenue that looked at before and after the GATE tax implementation. We found that once you pulled the changes in the automotive sector out, where there were such big changes to the title ad valorem tax, all of a sudden it looked different in the counties. There were not as many counties that experienced changes in their sales tax distributions.
The issue is very important to farmers, and having good data will help farmers keep this valuable program.
It's really important to ask the right question, and if you're focused on just declines that might include something like car and automotive taxes, then the question is not about the GATE tax, it's about something else. So it's important to keep the focus on what might be causing changes in a county, not just the GATE tax.
UGA's Center for Agribusiness and Economic Development is a great asset for Georgia and works year-round supporting Georgia producers.
We conduct economic studies all around the state. We do economic impact. We create the Farm Gate Value Report and economic profiles for every county. We also do the Flavor of Georgia Food Product Contest, and we serve agribusinesses throughout the state.
Over the coming weeks, the 2016 Ag Forecast will be presented all around the state and will no doubt help many ag producers. Reporting from Carroll County, I'm Mark Wildman for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
All right, thank you, Mark. Great job as always. When the show continues, how some of the decisions made at this year's Georgia General Assembly may impact UGA Extension. Stay with us. You're watching the Georgia Farm Monitor. Today, we get a look at the annual Georgia Peanut Farm Show. The event brings peanut farmers together every year to inform growers on industry issues, as well as honor those who have worked to advance the crop. As usual, at this year's Georgia Peanut Farm Show in Tifton, producers were able to get an up-close look at a wide variety of equipment and products that can benefit their farm operations.
In agriculture, technology changes so fast, and if you're not on the cutting edge, you're going to get left behind. Whether it's a new variety or a new piece of equipment, or just one little thing could tell the difference between you making it or not, and you won't learn that sitting at home on the tractor. You got to get out and you got to go to these shows, go to these county-wide meetings that the Extension holds every year and learn something, and you'll do a better job because of it.
The Georgia Peanut Commission organizes this event each year in an effort to support the peanut industry. One participant that enjoyed the gathering and knows a thing or two about growing peanuts is the new GFP president, Gerald Long from Decatur County.
Well, it's very important, Kenny. You know, first of all, I'm a peanut grower myself, so it's near and dear to me. And what this about today is the peanut growers to share ideas, to meet with industry people, and we're all very interested in what the farm program is, what peanut prices will be this year, because that's going to determine a lot what we do in South Georgia this year.
Not only did farmers get a chance to visit with vendors and view the latest in equipment displayed, they had an opportunity to hear from one of their biggest advocates in Washington. Bob Redding said this year's seed quality should be a good part of the story he's able to present.
Their investments with the Georgia Peanut Commission, research dollars, National Peanut Board, and the University of Georgia has just really paid off for Georgia growers. And let's face it, these farmers are in rural communities. They're spending money in rural communities. It's a real pillar for a lot of rural counties and communities.
Congressman Austin Scott was on hand too. He told producers he understands fully there is a concern about the nation's economy and what the immediate future may hold for commodities.
A lot of concern about the economy. When you start to see commodity prices not able to find a bottom, commodities like oil, for example, it obviously has an effect on other things. One of the key things in agriculture with regard to commodities has been the manipulation of the cotton markets by China. Those are areas where we at the federal level are going to have to do a better job of getting involved and making sure that countries like China understand that when you manipulate commodity prices that hurt the United States, there would be action taken to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Also, there was a number of awards handed out, including a special award given to former GFP President Zippy Duvall, accepted on his behalf by GFP President Gerald Long, and the Outstanding Georgia Young Peanut Farmer Award, this year presented to Trey Dunaway of Hawkinsville. Well, just a reminder, if you missed any part of the story or others on today's program, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel. That's the Georgia Farm Monitor. Once there, you can browse the archive of stories dating as far back as 2009.
And of course, once you're done watching all those informative stories, just keep on clicking and like the Georgia Farm Monitor Facebook page we have set up for you. If you have a story idea or if you just want to leave us a comment or suggestion, feel free, send us a message either on Facebook or at the address listed below. That is news@farm-monitor.com. Meantime, January, of course, is a big month for the University of Georgia as they not only welcome back more than 35,000 students, but also try and pass important legislation through the State House and Senate. Damon Jones tells you what the school is looking for and why it's important to the agricultural industry as a whole.
The state capitol in Atlanta is buzzing this time of year as the Georgia General Assembly is back in session, discussing important regulatory, judicial, and of course, budgetary issues that will affect the state and its programs. That includes UGA Extension, who is hoping to get a little help expanding their staff.
In the college, we are asking for 5 specialist positions that would be departmental faculty and 20 county extension agent positions. So we are really hoping that some of those things will get added as the budget moves to the House and then to the Senate.
It's positions that need to be filled in order to keep each farmer up to date in such a diverse state for agriculture.
The great thing about that is it will help us fill some very critical positions. Some of the positions that we're asking for the specialist are positions that have been open for quite a while. One of them deals with the beef and dairy industry. One of them deals with the vegetable industry. They're positions that are very critical to agriculture in Georgia.
It would also allow for Extension to be more involved with farmers as they could cover more of the state than ever before.
We just lack the capacity to be able to reach all the people we need to reach in the state of Georgia. So if we were able to add 20 positions, we'd be able to put additional personnel in the urban areas, which is one of the areas that are just underserved in Georgia. Also, we'd be able to fill some positions in some of our high production counties down in southwest Georgia, places where the farm gate value is so strong and we really need additional personnel in those areas too.
While having more manpower is important, the facilities are also in need of some major updating.
On the bond side of things, we have asked for $5 million for new cabins at Rock Eagle. We are in the process of renovating our Rock Eagle cabins. And we've also asked for some bond money that will help us on our experiment stations, major repairs and renovations, and some equipment money that will help us update those facilities.
And with an ever-changing industry, that is more important than ever as farmers look to Extension to give them the most up-to-date information available.
Our scientists cannot do their best work if we don't help them have the best facilities. So if we don't have labs that are up to date, or research facilities, even our farms and our working facilities for livestock, if we don't have those things that are up to date with what people in the industry use, then we can't do our experiments in real world conditions. So that's really important.
Reporting from Athens, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
All right, when we come back, it's the first installment of Ranger Nick for 2016. And this month, he is showing us how extension experts at UGA are turning to the internet to make farmers' workload a little easier. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Farm Monitor. Now here's a question. This time of year in central Georgia, where's the only place to see bull riding, barrel racing, bareback riding, and more? Why, the Georgia National Fairgrounds, of course.
This is our 26th annual Georgia National Rodeo, which also includes the Georgia National Junior Livestock Show. The Junior Livestock Show starts on the 17th and runs through the 20th and is free to the general public. These are statewide competitions, and it's very exciting for the students in FFA and 4-H around Georgia, because this is the one time that they come together and compete for the state title, and it's absolutely free. So we encourage people to come out and watch their competitions and see their exhibits. They're proud of them and they're great, and so we're excited to have them back for the 26th year. The rodeo is our professional PRCA bull riding, barrel racing, steer wrestling. There's 7 different categories that happen over the course of the 3 nights. In the past, people might think that it leads up to a finals on Saturday, but that's actually not true, and we want to make sure that everybody understands that on any given night you might be seeing the winner of any of these categories. So he may ride Thursday night or he may ride Saturday night, so you might want to make sure to come out any of the nights that it's going on. Starts Thursday, February 18th and runs through Saturday, February the 20th. It's in Reeves Arena. Our tickets go on sale February 1st at GeorgiaNationalRodeo.com. Thursday is our general admission night, so that means that you can buy a seat and come and sit anywhere that's open. Children are $10, adults are $15, and our box seats are $25. On the Friday and Saturday night, they are reserved seating, so that means that you do buy a specific seat and go sit in that seat. Children are $15, adults are $20, and box seats are $25. Any child under 2 is free, but they must sit in their adult's lap. But this is a very exciting event. It's very family friendly. We have specialty entertainment in between the categories as they get ready to perform. So it's nonstop action. It's fun for the whole family, and you want to make sure you don't miss it.
And finally today, changing with the time. Seems like every other week, something new pops up to make a farmer's job more efficient.
Yeah, in this month's edition of Ranger Nick, UGA Associate Professor Dr. Nick Furman shows us how new technology is helping to monitor soil moisture just with a click of a mouse.
Well, just like the wireless remote control in your hand, the world of agriculture is going wireless and has been wireless and is continuing to get more and more remote every day. I'm standing with a friend of mine, Dr. Matthew Chappell with the University of Georgia, who has been spearheading some efforts to remotely examine conditions under the ground so that farmers can monitor how things are going with their crops and plants. Dr. Chappell, I'd love to talk to you a little bit today about what we're able to monitor under the ground, on the Farm Monitor. It works out just perfectly. So can we go over and kind of look at and talk to me a little bit about what you monitor, or what might a farmer be interested in monitoring under the soil with regards to their plants?
Absolutely. Let's go over.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So there's a lot of different things that you can measure environmentally. For example, soil moisture, or the fertility, the amount of fertilizer and nutrition available to your crop. You can take soil temperature. For example, most of our seeds need a certain temperature to germinate, so we can actually monitor and measure that. So a lot of things under the ground that are happening, and until recently, by recent I mean the last decade to 2 decades, it's been very hard for us to understand on a very local level what's going on. For example, on a single farm versus a weather station that's run by a government like the National Weather Service.
Interesting. I mean, and this kind of stuff, from my understanding, even in the construction industry, we are able to monitor things under the concrete to determine where parking spaces are in large cities. So some of the things you're talking, moisture, pH, those kinds of things. Let's talk a little bit next about how you're able to monitor those remotely over the internet, just like we could do really through a cell phone. So we'll dive into that next. So you talk to us about the kinds of things that you're measuring. Talk to us about how you're measuring it and how some of this equipment that's laid out in front of us is giving you information that a farmer would make a decision with.
Right, correct. So there's very few pieces of hardware that we're dealing with here. You obviously need to have a computer or a tablet or a phone, some way to connect to the internet, but then there's this, which is the node. And the node is very simply something that collects data from a variety of sensors. This is a soil moisture, temperature, and fertility or electrical conductivity sensor. You can put that into the soil and it will continually measure those factors, okay? That's just one example of many different types of sensors. This node collects that data and it's got an antenna and it transmits it so that it can be visualized on a web page, okay? So now you can see your data anywhere you are in the world. And another type of sensor, just to give you another one, that you can hook up is this. This is a leaf wetness sensor, okay? And there are dozens of different environmental sensors that you can hook up and visualize your data anywhere in the world.
It's just incredible. I can sit in my living room on my phone, look at the amount of moisture on a leaf, look at the pH, the moisture in the soil, and now I can be more targeted in the amount of water I put down, in the pesticide I put down. I can save money, and I can even benefit wildlife by increasing the number of maybe positive insects there and helping those animals feed. Incredible stuff. The technology is amazing. Well, the rain's starting to fall here outside of Athens, Georgia, and I'm sure those moisture nodes are just going off the chart. Doc, let's say I'm watching at home. I want to learn more information. I want to think about getting one of these things. What do I do from here?
Well, there's a website that we've created and tried to simplify this down into very understandable terms. It's smart-farms.net. It's very easy. We actually have learning modules on there. Anybody can access them. You can walk yourself through and find out what a sensor network is. It's great for high school students, middle school students. It's a really nice resource.
Wow. So talk about environmental monitoring and involving students and families and kids with this. Incredible stuff, hooking them into agriculture. I want to thank you so much, Doc, for hanging out today. It's been a great time. If you're like me and you want to learn more, click on that link. And while you're on the internet, hop on over to the Georgia Farm Monitor Facebook page and like that. Scoot over to the Ranger Nick Facebook page and like that. And I so appreciate y'all communicating with me like that. And as you know, with Extension, we're reaching out and helping people all over the country, especially here in Georgia, and we thank Extension so much. Y'all, I got to get ready to go. The moisture sensors at my house are going off pretty high on my phone. Until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious, so pass it on. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you back here again next month. See ya.
All right, Nick, thank you so much, sir. And that is going to do it for this week's edition of the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Here's a reminder for all the latest ag info that regards food, great recipes, and what's happening out on the farm. Be sure and check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming, plus here on the Farm Monitor Show.
Take care, folks. We will see you next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Have a great week, everybody.